In the 1800s, the UK allowed people to marry 6-year-olds.
Yeah, but in the 1800s, we don't lift them up and say that they're prophets.
But again, it was a Christian country.
Again, we don't lift them up and say that they're prophets.
Yeah, but they were Christians, weren't they?
And we don't lift them up and say that their laws are from God.
Yeah, but it was a Christian country.
Is this from God?
Of course it is.
Right, so if this book from God says that you can marry children, do you think that that's right?
Well,
Yeah, I would.
And that's the problem, bro. Listen to yourself. So my issue is with Sahih al-Bukhari and what it says about Muhammad.
His God says you can touch 1 day old, but he has problem with 9 years, 18, 14. But 1 day old,
Bro, if you do a consensus of which Muslims accept Sahih al-Bukhari and which Muslims don't accept Sahih al-Bukhari, then you'll find that the majority of Muslim scholars accept Sahih al-Bukhari.
But if some of them, like he said,
He's just being political and you're a fool. He's saying that right now, but in his mosque, he'll be saying he believes in Sahih al-Bukhari. He'll say, yes, I'm saying he's being dishonest. I'm saying he's being dishonest. That's what I'm saying.
Read 1 Samuel.
I'm saying he's being
Chapter
dishonest.
15, verse
Because I
24.
guarantee in his mosque and in front of other Muslims, he'll be saying he believes in Sahih al-Bukhari.
Who said that?
He will say that.
Are you gonna feed that in my mouth?
So you don't believe in
two
Sahih
against
al-Bukhari?
one.
So you don't
Two
believe in
against-
Sahih
Who said
al-Bukhari?
that? Who said that?
Do you?
Again,
I'm asking you.
I'm telling you this, yeah?
I am asking you, do you
I'm
believe in
telling
Sahih
you
al-Bukhari?
I'll tell you this.
Okay.
I believe Sahih and Bukhari, but it doesn't mean everything is right. Like not
Right.
everything
So
is right.
which criteria-
We have like 99, we have weak hadith, we have a strong hadith.
Yes.
We have, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it doesn't
Da'if,
mean... so
Hassan.
you go for the da'if.
Sahih?
You go
No.
for the Shia.
No.
You go for the Shia.
You didn't
da'if.
listen, did you?
No, you don't listen.
You didn't
to me.
listen.
You don't listen.
5,
Which
3,
one is greater?
4.
Which one is greater? The hadith or
Listen,
the Bible?
listen,
Which one
listen.
is greater? Hadith or Bible? I thought Bible was the
5,
word
3,
of God.
5,
I
1,
thought Bible was
3,
the word of
4.
God. Why are you not going from the Bible?
Sahih
Let's go from the Bible
Bukhari.
and Quran.
Did you hear that?
No.
Sahih Bukhari.
Quran
What
and
does
Bible.
Sahih mean?
Quran and Bible.
What does Sahih mean?
What does it mean Bible mean?
What does Sahih
What
mean?
does it mean Bible
It
mean?
means a library.
Is that
What
word
does
of God
Sahih
or
mean?
is it word of Satan?
What does Sahih mean?
Is it word of God or
You
is
see,
it
you
word
don't.
of
Why don't
Satan?
you want to answer a
Why
question?
does it want to know answer from his
Do
Bible?
you know what Sahih means?
He's talking about hadith. Sahih, it means right.
There you go.
It means right.
Sahih means right.
And
And he said he believes it.
I didn't say I believe it. I said he's a liar.
So he says on one hand, he says on one hand, it's right and it's reliable. But then when he finds those hadiths embarrassing, he says that they are da'if. On what grounds do you say it's
But you will
da'if?
never find in the Quran. I find
On
on
what
the Bible.
grounds do
I
you
find
say
on
it's
the Bible.
da'if?
Your God says you can keep 1 day old.
Can we pull up the verse in the Quran where it says about prepubescent
Your God
children?
says even kill donkey and keep 1 day old.
Bro.
So what the flip are you talking about? Don't be a hypocrite.
Bro.
Mr. Liar.
You literally just contradicted yourself
How
in
am
the
I
same
contradicting
conversation.
myself? How?
I would love
Go
to
on.
tell you.
How?
Let me tell you.
Go on.
Let me tell you.
Go on. Make
Let
sure
me
you
tell you.
don't
Patience,
vocal.
patience.
I watch you a lot.
Let
You
me
talk
tell.
too
Let me
much.
tell you.
I will stop you if you talk.
Let
Go
me
on.
tell you.
Go on.
You said
Yeah.
Sahih means right, reliable. That's what you said. It's
I
on
never
camera.
said reliable. Reliable is different than right.
Right.
Right and reliable is
It's
two
all
different meanings.
dependent on how you translate the
Does
Arabic.
that mean reliable, right?
But then when he found
Is that
the
right? It is
hadith
reliable?
embarrassing, he said that it's
Do I have
not
to teach you
reliable.
your English. Do I have to teach
What-
you English?
what grounds do you
English
say
is
it's
my
not
third
reliable?
Language. English is my
What
third
grounds
language.
do you say it's not reliable?
Listen, what does it mean infant?
What
I
grounds
answered
do
you.
you
I answered
say
you already.
that it
Now
is not
answer me.
reliant?
What's infant means?
On what grounds?
What's infant
Go on,
means?
I'll talk to you. He's
No,
not
no, no, no,
listening.
no. You're not talking. You're not. You're not gonna dodge me. I answered you.
You're
now
either going to let
answer
him
me.
dominate you
I
or
will
you're going to
dominate
talk for
you.
yourself.
I will
I'm listening
dominate
to you
you.
now. You have
What's
my
infants
side,
means?
but, like,
What's
the
infants
way I
means?
see it is-
What's
Go on.
infants
I think,
means?
like,
What's
I prefer,
infants
like,
means?
you guys
What's
are
infants
transparent
means?
to the, you know, I
What's
don't-
infants
can't hear
means?
you.
What's infants means?
I can't hear you.
I answered you what Sahih
can't hear
means.
you.
Answer me what's
So you can
infants.
shut him up. The Quran 2.222
What's infants?
for sex.
Before he shut me up, he has to answer me like I answered him.
You ask him
I answered him. Is it not man enough? Are you not man enough?
Stood right
Are you
here,
not
bro.
taking 101?
Stood right
I took
here.
yours. Wait, took mine.
Stood
So
right
what
here,
does
bro.
it mean infants?
Stood right here, bro.
What does it mean infants?
Hold on, just going to
What
get
does
it
it mean?
for you.
Hold on what?
Just going to get it for
Don't
you.
be scared, he's holding me fam. What does it mean infants?
I'm going to get it for you.
He's gonna get for me infants, you know. The word of infants. He's
Okay.
gonna get it for me.
Right, listen.
Look at this stupid guy.
Yeah, are you listening?
I don't listen, man.
Okay. Oh, he's walking off. He's walking off. He's walking off. Now I'm going to reply to this now.
He's holding
Whoa, bro, get off for the people's vote. Get off for the people's vote.
Look, English
I'm going to reply to this guy.
2 days old, 3 days old,
I'm going to reply to this guy.
Answer that.
I'm going to reply to this guy, and then we're going to talk.
Answer infants. You don't need to use dictionary.
So, talking about the waiting periods between divorces.
15 minutes ago.
No, the Quranic verse about the waiting periods between divorces that include those who haven't had their courses yet, their menstruation. Right, go on. By the way, we don't need to get all touchy-touchy. Okay.
What does it mean infants?
Well, I mean, if people interrupt me, I have to shout. Go on.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, why are you debating this in the first place? Why don't you debate what is the truth? If
Right.
that was the truth, you would follow it, right?
So, shall I answer
genuinely
that?
believe.
Shall I answer that question?
One second. If you genuinely believe whether you go to heaven or hell depends on Islam, why wouldn't you follow that?
Okay, so let me answer that
Why
question.
would it matter?
Do you want me to answer that question? Right. So here's the problem, right? This book you say is from God, okay? This book says that you can marry children. I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay, I've got it. Yeah, right? Now, do you believe that you can marry children?
I mean, personally, the way I see it, I'm not that knowledgeable, so I don't want to speak on anything, because obviously in Islam we don't believe that's right. But what
No,
I
you
say
do.
is,
Let's read it. And those of you, this ayah, this verse is talking about the waiting period between divorces. Between, if I divorce a woman, how long can a divorced woman wait before she can remarry? And it gives all the qualifications thereof. Right? Listen to the words of this verse. And those of your women as have passed the age of monthly courses, for them, the iddah, you know what iddah is, the waiting period? The iddah, if you have doubt, is 3 months. And for those who have no courses, and this is what your Muslim scholar puts into the text in Saudi Arabia, id est, which means, for example, id est, they are still immature.
okay,
That's your Muslim scholar commentating on your Quran, saying that you can marry children.
okay.
It's right there in your book. I agree. That is a lie. It is right there in your book, and the Quran is lying to you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying to you, let's say, like imagine there wasn't any religion. There was just like one religion, yeah?
Yeah.
And it says you can, I don't know, murder is fine, yeah?
Yep.
Obviously we know murder's wrong,
Yeah.
but if you believed it was the truth, something you know is wrong, but if you believed it was the truth, and you could prove it was the truth, then you would follow the religion, right?
Right. So let's just be clear about this. Your religion is telling you that you can do things that you know are wrong.
See, look, I don't know, like I said, I'm not knowledgeable. Which is why I don't want to look. That's why I don't want to speak on
There's
this.
no religion on earth.
So
There's no religion
let
on
me
earth
just
that
talk to
tells
this bro.
you to do
You
anything
see,
that's
and this
wrong.
bro,
Don't
this
be
bro is why
silly.
I've got to shout. Because here I am trying to have a
Hear
conversation
this.
with you,
Hear
and this is what I've
There's
got a
no
problem with.
religion on earth
Yep.
that tells you to do
No,
wrong.
I want to address your key point, which
Tell
is
me what
why
religion
aren't I
that tells you
debating
to
what
do
the
wrong.
truth is?
Don't be silly.
I am saying that we can
Stop listening
investigate.
to him.
Why are you
Tell
trying
me
to tell
one
him?
religion
Sorry,
that
are
tells you to
listening?
do wrong.
Don't be intimidated by this guy.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim.
Don't be
There's
intimidated
not
by
one
this guy.
religion that tells
Are
you
you
to do
listening?
wrong. So how
Are you
dare you
listening?
then tell him that?
Are you listening?
Are you Muslim or?
Of course.
He's Muslim, yeah.
Malaikum salam rahmatullah.
Okay, what I'm saying is like,
Finish the argument.
So let me
Finish the argument. There's no religion on earth that tells you to do wrong.
Why are you letting him dominate you? He's ISIS, by the way.
Hey, listen,
He's
I've
ISIS, by the way.
won the argument.
He's ISIS.
There's no religion on earth that tells you to do wrong.
Right.
So whatever he's saying is stupid.
So
if you want to get your point, because you want to bring
So carry on debating and wasting time. You've got
I'm
things
going
to
to try
do.
and speak. I'm going to try and speak.
Checkmate, I got him.
So the reason why we're talking about this topic is because we can discern what is the truth. Our responsibility is to find the truth. Would you agree? Right. So we've got to find the truth, right? So it's not just a case that we should accept what people tell us. We should investigate it. Your Quran even tells me to investigate your Quran. It doesn't tell you, it tells me, right? So when I investigate the Quran and I find something that says those who have no courses, that's children, and your Islamic scholar agrees with me because he's put the words, they are still immature, into the text. You can read that, right? Yeah, I'm not lying, am I?
I can read it, but
Am I lying? No. Right. So I am not lying about what your scholars are saying your Quran is saying. But what I'm saying to you is, if you believe that, you're an idiot and you haven't found the truth. Because you know in your heart and your mind you shouldn't be marrying and having sex with children.
okay, but what I'm saying is, how does that tell you what the truth is?
Because if your religion is telling you to do something that you know is rationally wrong, rationally, you know it's wrong, to marry a child.
Okay, but I just said to you,
Right.
what if there
Do
was
you
a
agree
religion-
that it is rationally wrong to marry children?
Look, I just said to you, if there was a religion, one religion, not like loads
Yeah.
now, one religion, and it tells you murder people, and you know it's the truth.
Right.
You said you'd be part of that religion, right?
So what you're saying to me is, because your religion says that you can marry children, you're now
I'm
willing
not
to
saying
marry
if it's
children?
right or wrong. I said to you, I'm not knowledgeable, so I'm not going to speak on this.
Right, so what I'm saying to you,
when
you've got the
you said that,
evidence.
brother, don't interrupt, so come on,
Yeah.
you're doing it now, bro.
Okay.
Okay. I'm saying, don't look at, like, you're trying to prove this is wrong, so don't do that. I'm not going to speak on that, like I said. But I'm saying, if you look for a proof, that's better. There's no point arguing on things like, did this happen? I could come to Christianity and say a number of things, but like I said, I'm not going to say it. But if you look, you should be looking for the truth. You shouldn't be looking to try and say this religion's wrong because of that, this religion's because of that.
So let
I
me,
can go
let me
to
address this
Hinduism.
point. Let me address this point. Firstly, I hope you will now go and give that lecture to all of the Dawah team in the park. Because that is exactly what they do. They come to this corner every Sunday attacking the Christian faith. Every single Sunday, all of them. So please, we would like to see the videos of you telling them not to attack Christianity, but something tells me you won't do that.
I'm not-
Wait,
I
one
don't follow
second,
regulars.
one second. The next thing is that you agree that you have a moral obligation to find the truth. Now, God has not left you ill-equipped to find the truth. He's given you reason, he's given you rationality, he's given you the ability to speak and to have conversations. He's given you the ability to analyze texts and to think about what these texts mean. Now, I'm asking you to do that right now, because your text is saying that you can have a waiting period between marriages and lists amongst those that have waiting periods children. Now, you know that it is not rational to marry a child. So your reason and your conscience, which is also given to you by God, are both telling you that the Quran is misleading you. The question is, do you have the confidence to follow your reason and your conscience or not?
Okay, but I already told you, I'm not looking to say what's right or wrong because I don't have the knowledge to say that. But I'm just telling you to, like you keep coming back to the same argument, but I'm saying there's no point looking at this.
Why is there no point looking at it?
Because this is just looking at, you said people come to this corner to attack Christians, right?
Yeah.
So you react to that by doing the same thing.
No. In my faith, there's no prohibition about attacking ideas and belief systems. There's no prohibition. In fact, as Christians, we're commanded to attack ideas and belief
Okay,
systems.
but when you come to attack from a point of like proving it's true. Look at like where do Muslims prove the Quran is the truth? Look at that.
Shall we do that right now?
No, but see, like I said, I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable.
I'm going to be talking about that. You know that big embryology fake miracle that Muslims talk about in the Quran, when they say that the Quran describes embryology?
I don't know. Like
It's totally false.
I don't want to comment on that because.
But hold on one second. So a couple of things, right? You are here saying on one hand that you accept that we have a moral obligation to find the truth, but yet when you are confronted with something that questions Islam, you don't want to consider it. So you're betraying your moral obligation.
If you want to consider, speak to like, there's lots of knowledgeable Buddhas here.
They just run away.
They all run.
They all run.
Ali Dawah?
Yeah, he runs. We've got him on camera running dozens of times. He just runs.
I mean, I'm sure there's context.
Ali Dawah, Shamsi, Hashim, Mansour, Mohammed Hijab, Adnan Rashid, they just run away because they can't handle these arguments.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not really. I think there must be context. They won't run away to that. Like
They are. That's exactly why they
I've seen
run.
them. But like,
I'll tell you what, we can approach them with you. We can approach any of the dawah. Yeah, you can stand by in the distance and you can see what the reaction is, and then you.
They'll run.
I guarantee you they'll argue with you.
They'll run.
Look, I don't know the argument for this, because I said I don't have knowledge. But I'm guaranteeing you.
But wait one second. Because here's the problem with you. You've got a cognitive dissonance going on right now. You're saying two contradictory things. You're saying on one hand, I have a moral obligation to find the truth. Agreed? I'm not misrepresenting you. But then on the other hand, you're saying that when you encounter something that challenges your faith, you're saying, well, I don't have the arguments for this. So what you're saying is, I am not searching for the truth. What you're doing is, I'm looking for the way to defend the truth that I accept already.
Actually, no, what I'm saying is, I should have the knowledge. So I should be going to look into this. When you show me this, I should go, okay, that's interesting, I'll go look into that. But right now, I don't have anything to say to you because I don't want to comment on something I don't know.
Okay, so we can do something hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, you go away and you research this, and you find that yes, the Quran does legislate for waiting periods between divorces, and includes amongst those women that have to wait between divorces, children. And you find that Muhammad did marry a child, and he did have sex with a child. Are you still going to follow Islam?
And then, if I find proof that the Quran is the truth, and if I follow the Quran, that's going to lead me to Jannah, I'll follow the Quran.
You haven't actually answered my question. You just ignored my question completely.
I mean, okay,
my question was, if you go away and research this for yourself, and you find, once again, and you find that I'm not lying to you, the Quran does list children as amongst the people that have to wait between marriages. So these are children that are being married multiple times, and you do find, when you look into the hadiths, that Muhammad looked at a 6-year-old and wanted to marry her and had sex with her when she was 9, even though your reason and your conscience both tell you that that is wrong, and your reason and conscience are indisputably from God. Are you saying that you're not going to follow that God-given intellect?
Like I said, I don't see that as relevant. If I found like that one religion, yeah, it can say anything. It doesn't matter what it says. I'm not looking at the religion going, like, okay, I didn't come into Islam by looking at Quran going, I like these principles, I'm going to join Islam. I could look at many books, I could look at philosophers if I want to. But I looked at Islam because I believe that there's a truth. If I thought Islam was like, if I thought Islam said, I don't know, give me something that's wrong.
Marrying children. No, I'm not. I'm not giving you anything different. Deal with this example. Deal with this example.
Give me an example worse
Deal
than
with this example.
It doesn't matter. Okay,
Why? Deal with this example.
If I thought that was the truth, I'll follow it.
So you're saying that because of the Quran, you would be willing to marry a child?
If that was the truth, if I'm going to go to Nar because I don't follow this, I'm going to follow this.
So you would be willing to marry a child because of the Quran?
It doesn't tell me to marry a child.
Says it right here, look. Right? Remember, this passage is talking about the waiting period between marriages. So it assumes a marriage. And it says this, and those of your women as have passed the age of monthly courses, so that's elderly women, for them, the iddah, I'll read the brackets as well, prescribed period, if you have doubt about their periods, is 3 months. And for those who have no courses, that means no periods. What do you call a woman that doesn't have a period?
An elderly woman?
Call her a child.
A child, okay.
Yeah, and your scholar agrees with me because you read these words so people don't think I'm lying.
I.e. they are still immature.
They are still immature. What do you call a female that is immature?
A child.
There you go. So your Quran is saying that you can marry a child. Do you think that's right or wrong?
Okay, so
I want you to answer my question.
I'll answer it now. Okay, so if I think that's right, even if I believe
that's not my question. I said, do you think it's right or wrong?
So, okay, I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know. But if I thought it was right, yeah, assuming I thought it was right, I would still follow it.
Right, and what I'm saying to you is you have a moral obligation to use the two faculties that God has given you. Would you agree that me and you can dispute about which of these books came from God, the Bible or the Quran? So that's disputable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you agree that it is indisputable that God gave you reason and conscience?
Yeah.
Right. So you know that something you have is actually from God, your reason and your conscience. So if your reason and your conscience is telling you that this passage of the Quran is wrong...
But it didn't tell me that. If it told me this is the right book and that is...
So would you marry a child?
If that is the truth, I'll do it.
I'm not asking you that. I'm saying, would you marry a child?
See, that is the truth, but I'm saying...
Would you marry a child?
I wouldn't, but I don't have to.
Right, you don't have to, I agree. The Quran is not stipulating that you have to marry children. Do you think it's right to make it permissible to marry children? Would you start a political party and campaign to allow the marriage of
The
children?
answer to that question would be, if the Quran says that, then I would say it's yes.
And that's the problem, bro.
But if that's the problem, look, if this is the truth and it says that, then that's what I'm going to do. See,
Okay, and that's the problem.
In the 1800s, the UK allowed people to marry 6-year-olds.
Yeah, but in the 1800s, we don't lift them up and say that they're prophets.
But again, it was a Christian country.
Again, we don't lift them up and say that they're
Yeah,
prophets.
but they were Christians, weren't they?
And we don't lift them up and say that their laws are from God.
Yeah, but it was a Christian country.
Is this from God?
Of course it is.
Right, so if this book from God says that you can marry children, do you think that that's right?
Well,
Yeah, I would.
And that's the problem, bro. Listen to yourself. Here you are in the 21st century saying that you are willing to marry a child
said if.
because your book says you can.
You said if.
That's the problem.
You said if.
That's the problem. Would you marry a child? No. Would you want us to make it legal to marry children?
well, I don't know. If it's the Quran.
You don't know. You don't know. And that's the problem, guys. And I can see the conflict within you. I can see that conflict within you. You might deny it to yourself, but I can see it on your faces. Each one of you is right at this moment fighting between your belief in the Quran and what your conscience and your reason is telling you.
Bro.
This was a difficult conversation. The guy in the red shirt kept repeating the same line over and over again. He just ignores the whole point and only responds with, "If the Quran is true, then I will follow it." He's convinced that following the Quran will lead him to Jannah. One of the most repeated comments in my last upload was that Christians were also marrying kids, which the guy in the blue hoodie was parroting. But here's the thing. He's comparing a prophet whose actions came from Allah, were approved by Allah, and who is seen as the best example of all time, to Christians who did this act that wasn't in line with our faith and are not our example. By comparing his actions to what Christians did, he just proves that Muhammad is not a prophet of God. He used God as his puppet to fulfill his own selfish desires. Thanks for watching. God bless all, and see you all on Saturday.